Nice. You're watching Reaction Check. Hello YouTube, welcome to Reaction Check. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Now today is another scene that we're going to do from the Tamil films. It's called Ratsasan Climax Scene, and now this movie is very interesting. It is a 2018 Indian Tamil language psychological thriller film. Now that's a very interesting thing. A psychological thriller, probably it messes with your brain in some way. It's a genre of film, but the film features Vishnu Vishal, Amala Paul in lead roles, while Saravanan, Kali Venkat and Ramdas plays supporting roles. The film tells the story of an aspiring filmmaker who, after the death of his father, becomes a police officer, and now he is out there to track down a serial killer murdering schoolgirls. Now this will be a very interesting thing, that a lot of stories that you actually watch, the detective films or movies where the police officer or detective is actually tracking down the murderer or the suspect. It's an interesting genre of films that that one needs to explore, where the police officer visits the place over and over again to reveal some sort of clues or evidence from that area which we missed in the first place. It's a very interesting genre if you've read some comic books, or perhaps if you read some novels which were detective novels where the main character is going for something and it's trying to look for the people. Now this movie has made 60 crores in the box office. I'm not sure if that is a good number or not. The film was released on 5th October 2018. I do not know much about this particular film, so we're gonna watch this scene and try to understand what exactly happens. This is the climax scene, so probably I'm gonna ruin the fun for people who have not seen this film. So if you have not seen this film, please don't watch this reaction. But if you have seen the film, I'm watching this for the very first time, so let's see what we have in this one. Is that the police officer? You got the bubble? It's really important to know that the bad guy is a real bad guy, so that makes the movie much more interesting. Now we know through his makeup and a lot of things that are happening in the scene and description of the movie.
பொண்ணை விட்டுரு. யோசிக்க மாட்டேன், சுட்டுருவேன். கிறிஸ்துவர் ராணா,
I say shoot this guy, man. Holy Marco. Where'd he go? Okay. I think I know what's gonna happen. He's gonna use them to... What's he doing? Oh, nice. Wow, that was... Now that is a decent, I think much. So he's a magician type of serial killer. Did he take the daughter? This guy. No, come on. Okay, what's gonna happen now? What is going to happen now? We still have 4 more minutes.
அவனை தடுக்கணும்னா அவனோட சமநிலை மனசை உடைக்கணும். அவன் தடுமாறுவான், குழம்புவான், அவன் டார்கெட் மாறும், அவன் பிளானிங்கில் தப்பு நடக்கும். அப்போ அவனை பிடிக்கிறதுக்கு வாய்ப்பு இருக்கு சார். Poor girl. Come on, run out. Oh man. Did he die? Okay.
உடம்புக்கு ஓகேவா? கடத்தி கொலை செய்து வந்த கிறிஸ்டோபர் என்ற சைக்கோ கொலையாளி நேற்றிரவு போலீசாரால் சுட்டுக் கொல்லப்பட்டான். அதற்காக துணை ஆணையர் லக்ஷ்மி தலைமையிலான தனிப்படையினருக்கு முதலமைச்சரும் பொதுமக்களும் பாராட்டுகளை தெரிவித்தனர். மேலும் இதுகுறித்து தகவல்களை பகிர்ந்து கொள்ள நம்மோடு நமது செய்தியாளர் பன்னீர்செல்வம் இணைக்கிறார்.
ஹலோ
ஹலோ
நான் ப்ரொடியூசர் பாரத் பிலிம்ஸ் ராமசாமி பேசுறேன் தம்பி. இப்போ கிறிஸ்டோபர்னு ஒரு சைக்கோ பத்தி பரபரப்பா பேசிட்டு இருக்காங்கல்ல. ஸோ நீங்க அன்னைக்கு சொன்ன சைக்கோ கதையை இந்த சமயத்துல படமா எடுத்தா நல்லா இருக்குன்னு தோணுது. ஸ்கிரிப்ட் ஆபீஸ் கொண்டு வாங்களேன், பேசுவோம். சரிங்களா?
So by the end of the film, we get to see the main character or the filmmaker or the aspiring filmmaker who became a police officer, getting to his goal, trying to achieve, overall, I mean, everything aside, when you watch a film, it's very important that the bad guy is believable. Like, you believe that the bad guy is going to cause a lot of harm to anyone that comes across his becomes an obstacle into whatever his goal was. The person who is in between him and his goal, the obstacle, he will do anything to actually get rid of him. And the bad guy is always very strong, and you can see that this is an 8-minute long scene. And the way this scene was actually picturized, or the way this scene was written, they already had a very nice introduction to the scene where people, like, for the first time I'm actually watching this, I was really hooked onto, there was a hook there for me to actually see the moment he actually sees the girl and he's trying to do magic. That was really interesting to see. And then the police officer, I did not know. I mean, like, if I was watching, if anyone who's watching this for the first time, I thought he's just a normal police officer, but that the girl turns out to be his daughter. So the stakes are already very high. So I, as a viewer, want to watch it a little bit more. By 4 minutes mark, you get to see that the bad guy clearly has an edge over the police officer. The police officer is helpless, and somewhat, there's a magic word that he says, impotent, and then that's where he loses his focus and still doesn't give up. And the ending for the bad guy was really tragic, I would say. It was a surprise as well. Viewing these scenes and watching all these films, it really makes you understand and makes you believe and makes you accept the Tamil film industry, which is a lot more. And a lot of times when I see the northern films, the narrative is very different than what you have in the Tamil films. Tamil films are purely for entertainment purposes, and some of them have really mastered the art of storytelling, the cinematography, and the kind of action that was done in the early 2000s or in the late 90s. That has evolved into something very different, something very, very unique that you don't find in Bollywood films. And I see after watching a lot of Tamil film scenes, I see a lot of the scenes in Bollywood, the action style they have started copying it from the Tamil films. They're not able to do it that way because Tamil films definitely have some sort of stories attached to these films. I'm not sure when was the last time I watched a bad Tamil film. Probably people recommend these movies or these scenes to me, which are already amazing and fantastic to watch. Probably you may want to recommend me some movies which you thought were not really that great, and maybe some of the reasons why you thought those movies were not great. Until next video, take very good care of yourself. Adios.